So, welcome to the 8th week of my weekly rotation. Let's get right into it. For Monday, I went with Darktail's Rosén again. I love wearing this, and this is very much a winter, very late fall type of scent, so I'm enjoying it while I can. And since I just got a backup bottle, why not? So, this is the bottle of Rosén. So this has the simple vibe of entering a dark, wet, moist cave, almost like foggy, with just moss and mushrooms growing everywhere, and flowers outside bringing in floral scent into the cave. There's a bottle of liqueur spilled on the ground, and someone threw a lot of just cocoa powder everywhere. That is basically the simplified personal experience of this. I love wearing this, which is why this is the only one I have a backup bottle of all my fragrances. Tuesday, I wanted to get a little bit of a summer feel. And so I went with something I don't wear a lot. Imaginary Authors, The Soft Lawn 2.0. This is a special fragrance. This is not for everyone in any way. This smells very much photorealistically like opening a can of tennis balls and being on a lawn. So I'm thinking like a grass tennis court, opening a can of tennis balls and just the whiff of tennis balls and grass, very green, it's like there's no earthy notes, there's no floral notes, there's no citrus, there's no woods, there's just grass, something maybe it's greenish, like grass related, and tennis balls. The good thing about Imaginary Authors is that you have the notes on the back. The only thing I get from this list is tennis balls, and I would just add grass and tennis balls. That's it. It just smells like summer, like just playing tennis in summer. It's that simple. It's the perfect illustration in the front. It's two people playing tennis, relaxing. This is not a competition. It's just two people playing tennis. On Wednesday, I went with another Imaginary Authors, Cobra and the Canary. This is completely different from the Soft Lawn. Yeah, I love wearing this. This gives me that outside feel, like riding my motorcycle. It does have that feel. It does give you that vibe without actually giving you the smell of asphalt, without actually giving you the smell of nature in that sort of way. It manages to sort of capture a scent that gives that image. Thursday was supposed to be a very special day for me. So I brought out the big guns with Zaharoff, Basileus, Precious Treasure. That day didn't go the way I wanted to. It went pretty badly compared to what I was hoping, but scent-wise, this is never wrong. If you're going to a wedding, if you're going to some important gathering, if you're going to an event that you have to like be at your best suit and everything, this will always be top of the line. This is elegant at a level very few of my fragrances are. This is just top shelf elegance. This is the Basileus line, which is the line of kings. And I think this is perfectly fitting for that name. This is a royalty among Zaharoff. This has a clean, just a lot of woods, a spicy elegance without going anywhere strange and still being very, very different from everyone else. Excellent, exceptional fragrance. Friday, I went for another Zaharoff, this time the Seraphim Musk. This one I can't wear too often because too much musk in fragrances makes my throat close up and I literally can't breathe and I have to use medication to breathe. So I try not to use too much musk heavy fragrances. And this is a musk and leather fragrance. And it is just beautiful. Simply beautiful. Very masculine. Very masculine. So one of my favorite fragrances for a woman is Nishane 100 Silent Words X, which is very leathery in a sort of feminine, elegant way. It's very clean, it's very like soapy, bubble bath, sort of like that sort of thing. And the peach is fruity and sweet and mild. It's not one of those too strong peaches. Can be worn by a man, but I've never been able to pull this off in public. And what this does is it takes away the peach and the bubble bath feeling from this and turns it into more woody and masculine. So you have sort of the same type of leather feel from both, but in completely different ways. The main reason I wanted to bring out the Nishane to show is because this does the same thing with leather as the Nishane did with the 100 Silent Ways. It brings in that elegant leather, but when you take away the peach and you add the woods instead and you remove the bubble bath, which is sort of like the feminine bubble bath thing, and you put in the more masculine, musky, fresh out of the shower feel from this. Yeah, this is just spectacular. And from the bottle itself, it's nice, it's clean, it's fresh, it's very like clean man sort of scent. But when you get it on skin and it mixes with your skin, if you have the right chemistry, this is beautiful on me. Saturday, at this point, I had done 3 out of my 4 imaginary authors, and so I just had to pull in the last one with A City on Fire from Imaginary Authors. And this is my favorite imaginary authors. It's not a 10 out of 10. The opening is a little too much. That struck match. I like the scent, but it is a little too much for the first minutes. And then it just slowly calms down and becomes better and better. And the cardamom comes out and the dark fruits. It says dark berries on the like everyone else from Imaginary Authors. It has the notes and it says dark berries. I get more of a like ripe plum and burnt wood with that match opening that sort of always stays, but it tones down and becomes more the background as the fragrance develops. And it becomes sort of seductive and warm and cozy. That warm spice, that burning woods, it sort of makes like the feeling like you're like at a bonfire. And that slight sweetness from those dark fruits is just, it's excellent. Really excellent. And finally, Sunday, I went with my newest acquisition, which is Darktale's King's Jester. And this is what I'm wearing today. And I'm wearing it on my arm because this is my first wear of this fragrance. I have used an entire sample already, but so in the opening, this is very leathery. This makes me think of like a studded leather armor for sort of if you play games, role-playing games, you have the rogues. They're usually wearing some sort of leather armor, which is mobile and light. And this is sort of like a rogue character. It has a slight metallic scent, and there's definitely some spices. But what I really get is that studded leather or leather and metal combining. And because this has a sort of sharp opening, a sort of sharp scent, this is not round, this is a little edgy, which makes it sort of feel like it's kind of ready to attack, sort of like it's ambushing someone. And if you consider the picture of that's on the back. I think, and what I sort of get from it is sort of like that the king's Jester is sort of evil and is going to kill the king and take over the throne. On the picture, which is kind of hard to see, but the Jester is sitting on the throne of the king, sort of taking the king's throne. And I think that's sort of what this illustrates sense-wise as well. It sort of feels like the Jester is the rogue or a bard character in a game and is about to kill the king and take over. And as the fragrance sort of dries down, it becomes more moss and darkish woods with a little bit of spice, which is also very pleasant. It sort of loses that edginess and becomes more dulled, which could be like the Jester has taken the king's throne and is now relaxing and is not even trying anymore. So that could be intentional. It sort of fits the character. And for a character scent, this is very interesting. I think it's best for the first 6 hours, well, especially the opening. The opening is beautiful. That leather is strong and forward, and it really gives that leather armor and a little bit of sneaky, about to attack, sneak attack sort of vibe. It's very good at what it's supposed to do. So the ranking for the wear experience for this week, starting with Rosén, 10 out of 10. This is one of my absolute favorite fragrances to wear, especially for winter now. Imaginary Authors, the Soft Lawn 2.0. I'm going to give this a 6.5 out of 10. I don't wear this because it's beautiful. I don't wear this because it's a lovely scent. It's more of a getting in a mood, and this makes me feel like summer. This is the most synthetic fragrance I have ever smelled, and it's intentional that it smells synthetic because of the tennis balls. The Cobra and the Canary, also from Imaginary Authors. This gets a nice 8.5 out of 10. This makes me feel like it's spring, like I'm back on the road, and yeah, that's what I need right now. It's close to that point of the year where I can start riding my motorcycle again, and this just reminds me that the time is almost there. Zaharoff, Basileus, Precious Treasure, 10 out of 10. This will always be a 10 out of 10. I can't even imagine wearing this and it's not being a 10 out of 10 wear, because I love wearing this. Zaharoff, Signature, Seraphim, Musk, 8 out of 10. Beautiful wear. A little bit of allergic reaction to the musk for me, that's why it gets an 8. Imaginary Authors again, City on Fire. This is a solid 10 out of 10. It's just so beautiful. From 10 minutes in, this is a 10 out of 10 fragrance. That opening is the only thing keeping it from being a perfect 10 out of 10 fragrance. And that opening only lasts for like a few minutes, so it's not like it's unwearable, but you have to be aware that the opening will not be as pleasant as the rest of the fragrance. And finally, King's Jester. I'm going to give it a 9. So that was week 8 of my weekly rotation. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you will be back to watch my next video.